Tonight, we take a break from the grind of a 20-race season and celebrate with some fun and fireworks, both on and off the track, as we welcome you to Charlotte, North Carolina for the Rolling Thunder Racing Series All-Star Race. Hi everyone and welcome to tonight's broadcast here on the Global SimRacing Channel. I'm Samuel Ryman and alongside me in the booth is Robert Covey. Behind the scenes is our director Ryan Bauer and he's using cameras provided to us by Dougie Beard. Well, there have been a few different configurations of Charlotte Motor Speedway on iRacing. We're using the 2018 one tonight. Let's take a closer look at it with our GSRC track guide.
Welcome everybody to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Even though it was built more than 4 decades ago, drivers still love to race at this 1.5-mile quad-shaped oval. Located just a short 13-mile drive from downtown, Charlotte also shares a similar track shape to what you would see at the Texas Motor Speedway and the Atlanta Motor Speedway as well. Despite turns 1 and 2 having the same banking as turns 3 and 4, the two ends of the speedway could not drive any different. Turn 1 and 2 are much more of a sweeping corner, really carrying the speed down into the corner and trying to get that hole shot out of turn 2 down the backstretch. Turns 3 and 4 drive much tighter than 1 and 2, really having to get the car to rotate in the middle of 3 and 4 to make your entry and your exit point. Getting a lap in around here in one piece usually requires some calm nerves and a patient foot. Charlotte was one of the first speedways to install lights around the facility, giving night racing a whole new berth. Charlotte is also known for its place in the perfect day of racing every Memorial Day, acting as the caboose after the Monaco Grand Prix and the Indianapolis 500. If Daytona is the pinnacle of NASCAR racing, then Charlotte has to be just a bumper behind. Fans flock to the largest sports facility in the Southeast and NASCAR's home track. This has been our guide to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Now, I'll be one of the first to admit I've never been a fan of cookie-cutter racetracks, how many of them there are in NASCAR. That being said, this tends to be an exception for me in the real world, Robert. Charlotte Motor Speedway tends to give us some magical races.
Always some really, really good racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 24-degree turns, coming through the quad part of the oval. It can unsettle any car you're driving. And I mean, they're driving the Silver Crowns tonight. This is going to be a lot of fun at Charlotte Motor Speedway for these guys tonight in the All-Star race.
Your ears do not deceive you. Your eyes don't deceive you either. When you see the cars in a moment, we are not racing the Xfinity cars here on Sunday night. We are racing the Silver Crown cars here. So, 100 laps at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is the Rolling Thunder Racing Series All-Star Race. Fixed setup. They do have one spare car. And the reason for that is because it is going to be a pack race. They have 5 total tyre sets and caution laps do not count. However, that 100 laps is going to be split up into 4 stages, and there's going to be cars eliminated at the end of each stage. Our first stage will be 40 laps. All drivers will be in the first stage. All, I think, 22 cars here tonight. At the end of those 40 laps, 2 cars will be eliminated, and then stage 2 will be another 30 laps with 20 drivers, as we get some cameras of our drivers here racing today. So at the end of 30 laps, at the end of 70 laps in total, we will eliminate another 5 drivers, and that will leave 15 drivers for stage 3, which will be 15 laps. And then at the end of that, we will have a 10-lap shootout between 10 drivers. And I also just did a bit of addition there. That's a 95-lap race, not 100 laps. But whatever it is, it's going to be a fun all-star race for us tonight. We've got William Schwindenham. I think this is the first time he's given us a camera this season. So more on boards for us tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I did get the opportunity to go into one of their sessions today and do some runs with this car. And, completely different from when they're running the Gen 4s. Your foot's on the floor. These cars have a single gear. There's no gearing that they got to do. The only thing you got to do here is push on the pedal and turn the wheel. And like I said, I got to do some runs today. So much fun. The car can get a little loose. During the practice today, to get to watch some of these guys trying to do some bump drafting with them to move forward. It's going to be a really, really interesting race to watch tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And this is a final warm-up session going on underway here. Qualifying has already concluded, so the race is just a few moments away, again with over 20 cars here. And that first stage will be 40 laps with 20 drivers making it to stage 2. And then the final stage at the end of the night will be 10 laps with 10 drivers. But that's a long way away. We've got lots of racing between here and now. And here's what we're going to see a lot of tonight. Drafting. Maybe even a bit of bump drafting.
Yeah, you can get on the rear end of these cars and you can push them, but because of the shape of the back of them, you really got to be careful through the corners, and especially through the tri-oval. I mean, I always call it the chute because I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of track you're on. When you're going through there, it's if you get it wrong, it's going to shoot you into the wall. So I just call it the chute. But yeah, these cars hold on pretty tight. Little loose after you get about 10-11 laps, but going to see a lot of side-by-side, maybe some bump drafting, maybe a little bit of heavy pushing. It's really cool track, 80 degrees Fahrenheit tonight. Lots of grip in these little cars. Should be, again, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch these guys run around here if they do anything like they do when they're in the Gen 4s.
Yeah, normally the Gen 4 cars that we see these drivers racing, I said Xfinity earlier, but of course that's not the case, just old Cup cars. They're normally hard to handle. These cars, it's pretty much a flat-out pack race we're seeing tonight, so it'll all be fun. All right, well, here's your qualifying results. 8 thousandths of a second separating Brian Johnson from Michael Larch, and that couldn't come as too much of a surprise. They were all running flat-out in qualifying. Randall Nichols and Jason Maines will be starting 3rd and 4th ahead of Bo Tiffany and Daniel Eberhardt, all the way back in 6th. How disappointing. A lot of work to do from there. That's unusual for Daniel. It's a pack race, though, so you're kind of at the mercy of everyone else. Look at that, just 12 thousandths off a pole when he's starting in 6th. Trevor Williams starts 7th ahead of Matthew Molnar, and Dylan Jones and Colin Weatherholt rounding out the top 10.
We jump down into row 6. We have 11th place Jacob Manning, one of our onboards tonight. Sean Corcoran in 12th place beside him. Then we have in row 7, we have Scott Crump and Seth Reed. Row 8, we have Dean Gagliano with alongside Brenton Barker in 16th. Jared Haynes in 17th, another one of our onboard drivers tonight, alongside Luke Smith in row 9. Then we have James Shane Wolf and Matthew Robinson rounding out the rows 10.
And Matthew Robinson, the first car outside 1/10 of a second of a pole, completely unacceptable. William Schwindenhammer there in 21st and Joshua Suss in 22nd. Eric Sellers did not qualify. Does he think there's going to be a crash? Oh, I can't imagine. But here we are. Here are our 5 onboard cameras here for tonight. Schwindenhammer, Haynes, Suss, Johnson and Manning getting ready. Just one pace lap around here. And in case people couldn't tell, I've been joking with a couple of my statements here, Robert, rather. I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be crazy. I can't imagine these drivers are going to get mad with each other. It's all for fun. It's all for bragging rights. It's a new car. I don't think we've done a race in this car on GSRC before. This might be a first for us.
That is what I'm hearing, and it's going to be exciting. It's basically like high-powered go-karts as far as I'm concerned when you're driving it. Just so much fun, and it just kind of rolls itself around the corners. A lot of fun, really out of sequence for these drivers after doing 10 rounds in the Gen 4. This is going to be a lot of fun as they come around the corner here and get ready for Barney to drop that green flag.
And it is an all-orange front row. Orange is my favorite color, so I fully approve. In fact, 5 orange cars in the field, so there's a good chance one of them will win tonight. But that's enough about orange. Let's talk about green. There's a green flag, and hand to Barney the flagman, who's about to drop it for 95 laps of racing action here at Charlotte. one of 2,147,483,647 laps down, or more like 95 laps, but it is Ryan Johnson leading the field, and you can tell there's still double files throughout most of the pack.
Yeah, just getting everybody. I was watching practice earlier. I think everybody's still trying to get used to the car. How they can bump draft, and that we will see that tonight. We're going to see some bump drafting. So we're right on board here with Ryan Johnson. With Nichols coming right up on him here, give him a little bump here and there. And it will upset the rear of these cars. As William Schwindenhammer hits our fastest lap, 29.169 so far. Ryan's pulling out a little bit there. Maybe those guys behind him got a little loose. And as you said, this is pack racing. I mean, these guys are right on each other's bumpers, somebody on their outside. Nothing but concentration right now.
It's all a little bit dicey up front. Only 22 cars. Eric Sellers, a car who did not qualify, has not started the race. So 22 cars, and there's a few cars that have dropped off at the back. As much Joshua Suss running right at the very back here, and I don't blame him. Yes, they have one free repair, but that's it, and it's a long race. However, again, you do not want to be 21st or 22nd at the end of lap 40.
Yeah, with the knockout sequence, drivers will be knocked out. The first, 20 will be knocked out after the first stage, after 40 laps. So you want to be in that top 20 for sure. These guys are dicing it around, just kind of getting used to the car right now. 5 laps in. Now, it's for our viewers as well. If a caution does come out, it does not count as laps. These drivers are going to run 40 laps, green flag, before the stage ends.
Yeah, you may wonder how that will work with our lap counter. Our lap count in the top left, which we will work on, well, we got one car getting pushed up high there, up into the high line.
Well, that is the nice thing here about Charlotte. You do get 3 lines here. Like I said, I practiced with the car, and you can run this car up against the wall. It doesn't mind it. It's fairly easy to handle, so I'm not going to be surprised to see them 3 wide multiple times tonight for sure.
Yeah, that was Bo Tiffany who kind of got... Oh, and there's contact up front. There was a bit of a bump gone wrong on our race leader, Ryan Johnson, and that's going to open that bottom lane up for Trevor Williams, who wants to take a lead in that blue car.
Yeah, this is the all-star race. Everybody's going to push. Everybody wants that win. We've got to double check.
I'm sorry, there was another hip check there where Ryan Johnson got pushed out wide. I think there was a little bit of netcode between him and Trevor Williams, and that's kind of what's resulted in Ryan Johnson dropping back here.
Yeah, you can bump around in these cars. I mean, you look at the way they're surrounded there. Like I said, it's basically a high-powered go-kart here. Oh, that's some iffy work there by the 19. But they can bump a little bit here. They can, they can scruff it up a little bit. It's going to upset your car. It's going to send you back in the pack. But it's all-star race. They're out here for some bragging rights and some fun. And it's going to be a lot of fun for everybody as we watch the 38 dive down. There's 30. Yeah, that was Bo Tiffany. Just dove down into that open spot there.
And Trevor Williams leading up front ahead of Dylan Jones. Those two are single file. Everyone else is in the pack. The whole field covered by 1.2 seconds here as they come to complete lap 9. Now, again, when we get our lap counter up and running, if there's a caution, even though caution laps won't count on track, they will on our lap counter here tonight, so we will keep you abreast of what lap we're racing to. Right now we're racing to lap 40 is the end of stage 1, as we're clean and green so far, though that could very easily change given how close the whole field is.
You're going to curse them right out the bat, aren't you, Sam? There you go. Big bump here. Whoa. They're not holding back tonight. Everybody is out there, and I mean, I can hear the chatter. I mean, these guys are just having I just imagine the smiles on their faces right now. These guys having a lot of fun.
Yeah, Trevor Williams gets a little bit of a gap on the field, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. They'll just run him back down. So again, still got that 21 billion laps left to go, but lap 11, that's what's important right here as they come across the line. 29 laps left to make sure you're not one of the last 2 cars. Again, only one free repair for everybody, and given the way this race is, you probably don't want to use that up too early.
No, and because it is one for all 3 stages, so even if you make it to the 3rd stage, if you've used your fast repair, that's it, you're out. And, you know, I want to mention, too, that it's not like there's nothing on the line tonight other than bragging rights. I mean, this is the all-star race. The first 5 place finishers are going to receive a 4K webcam. 6th to 7th place finishers are going to receive a $50 gift card to Top Golf. So, I mean, there is something on the line for them here tonight. So it's not just a free-for-all to just see what you can do and have some fun. There is something on the line.
Yeah, nice little early Christmas present or holiday present for the drivers running up towards the front. And again, Trevor Williams continues to lead, but no points racing for... Oh, there we go, there's contact. That's one advantage of being up front. And this whooping out of yellow as the second half of the field wipes out.
So that's lap 14 if our counter for the number of laps counts. So that's 14 laps down, and now these caution laps will not count. When we come back to green, they will have, what's the math, 26 laps to go.
Looks like the top 10 cars got through that. The contact starts there around 5th, 6th place, and then the second half of the field you see going by. A lot of beat-up cars. Now, I wonder if there's some drivers here who will elect to take manual repairs. You can take your turn your free repair off, and you know, some drivers might want to try and save it for late in the race. Bo Tiffany has been in a lot of it today, and unfortunately is in this one. He might need that free repair.
Wow, look at one of our others that got involved in this, Daniel Eberhardt. He's one of the first ones involved there now, so you know, I'll have to see if he comes back in. But I agree with you. I mean, if the car, I don't know what the damage model is on these cars. I didn't actually test that feature. But I mean, if it's drivable, you're going to want to stay out there. You're going to want to, you know, be out there as long as you can and be in that top 20 to make it into stage 2.
This is Joshua Surs, who was just riding towards the back, trying to play it safe. He gets a bit of damage. The number 43 of Sean Corcoran got quite lucky here. I think 2 cars ghosted through him, and he got through it. We are watching... Which car are we watching here? There's where it starts up front. There's Sean Corcoran in the 43. He just kind of gets to go through it all.
Yeah, sneaky, you know, keep it all together, you know, good for him. And I mean, that's what you want. Even if it happens in front of you, you want to try and get through it. If you don't have to take that fast repair, if you don't have to sit in the pits and get that repair, you know, it's better for you to get it, make sure that you get yourself into that second stage. So it's just very good. Yeah, just ghosted through that car. That could have been a lot worse.
It looks like a lot of cars are electing to take manual repairs. Bo Tiffany definitely took a free repair, so he's done, so he's got to keep it clean for the rest of the night. But you can see a lot of cars sitting in the pits getting manual repairs here. Oh, and there is a nice thing. There we go. We don't have to do math because the lap counter has frozen on lap 14. So we were a little worried. Job by our director. Yeah, we were a little concerned before this race started how that would work. But okay. Good. We don't have to do any math. We're racing the lap 40.
Yeah, just a little, you know, and that's the thing. These, you know, nobody's familiar with these cars. I mean, unless you've run them for fun. Everybody's, you know, probably trying to get used to this. We take a look at our onboard drivers tonight. And I mean, you can see that, you know, there's seriousness in their face, but and concentration, but they all look very, very relaxed. Just, you know, again, out there to have some fun, knowing there's something on the line, but, you know, enjoy yourself and just enjoy this break from the Gen 4 series.
So that would also explain why the cars are sitting in the pits there, getting extended repairs under caution. They're not losing any laps while they're doing that. So that's kind of nice for those drivers to sit in the pits, wait until we get the one to go, which we are now, and now they can come out, hopefully with their cars repaired, still be on the lead lap.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is the other thing. There is no, see now Daniel Eberhardt has gone a lap down, and there is no lucky dog tonight. It is waiver rounds only. So the only way you're going to get back up there is to not pit. So we'll have to see Okay, so Daniel Eberhard has left the pits, I believe, and I believe he's still staying on the same lap. So we'll have to see how that all sorts out. My timing screen showing him a lap down, but that may be just because he's waiting to catch up.
Well, he towed. Jason Maines and Daniel Eberhard are still in the pits, and they need to get going because the pace truck's about to go. Eberhard does. He takes a free repair. I think what was costing Eberhard time was he towed to the pits, so he had to wait for his car to finish towing. Jason Maines, winner at Daytona, still in the pits. He's going to go some laps down. As we go back racing here at Charlotte.
Good start there by Trevor Williams, getting himself out front there. But there is a bit of draft in these cars, so I mean, you know, even with these little cars, when you're in a pack, that that car in front breaking that win for you is definitely going to give you an advantage. And we have seen some pushing here, and you can see it. You look a little further back the field, some cars pushing others. Again, it's something you got to be really careful of with just the way the design of the rear of these cars is.
So Jason Maines will be one of our drivers who will not make the top 20 at the end of lap 40, barring another big incident. But right now, Daniel Eberhardt's the other one in trouble, running about half a lap down. And this is a little bit cleaner than it was at the start of the race. A lot more single file running.
Yeah, I think, maybe that first little wreck kind of settled everybody down, going, okay, guys, you know what, maybe we shouldn't do this like this right now. Let's get ourselves into the top 20. Ryan Johnson, you can see he's just nice and comfortable there. Just, steady hold on the wheel. I found that with this car. The car just kind of drives itself around here. You just got to tighten up the corners and control your throttle input. Like I said, if you've ever driven like a regular go-kart, I don't know, triple the horsepower and put a body around it, and that's pretty much what they're driving.
Riding on board Matthew Molnar here, second place behind Trevor Williams. Not making the move yet, kind of just happy to ride here. The thing is they seem to get a little bit strung out on the restart, but what are they going to do now they all bunch back up together? Are they, look at that, it's kind of split up into two packs.
Oh, well, that is pack racing. You usually expect to see 1, 2, maybe even 3 packs. A lot of damage on Matthew Robinson there. You can see that hood's pretty crumpled. So, a driver that, on the bubble right now, 20th position, he'll make it into the second round, then take your fast repair if he can hold on to that position for sure. But yeah, we probably got a few drivers in that second pack chose not to get any repair on their car and just stay out there and see what they can do. Trevor Williams gets a big bump there from Molnar.
Yeah, the problem with, I think you may be right here, Robert. The reason it's kind of broken up here is because the cars with damage at the back are running a bit slower, and they are running about half a second a lap slower than Daniel Eberhard. So he could easily try and run them down, and all he needs to do is pass one, and then by lap 40, and he'll advance into the second stage.
Yeah, that's only really going to have 2 losers out of this one, which are they're not going to feel good about. Yeah, we're really only going to lose 2 cars out of this stage. The next stage is going to be the very, very important one, where you're going to want to keep the mistakes down to as minimal as possible, and hopefully not have to use that fast repair if you haven't used it yet.
Then we see one car out of line. That's the number 38 of Ryan Johnson, who started on pole position, trying to work his way back up. And you could just ride out your laps, but then you're not going to know how to pass. You're not going to know how to race for the win on the final laps. This is why I think Ryan Johnson is doing this, trying to see if he can make that high line work and take some positions.
Okay, so I just received some information that there is going to be lucky dogs. Mins will be doing the waiver rounds. iRacing will not be doing the waiver rounds, and Mins will be doing it.
All right, I'm looking at 20th and 21st position. Matthew Robinson is in 20th place in the beat-up number 34 car, and he does have a slipstream of some cars ahead. He is running 29.6s. And Daniel Eberhard in a clean car some 15 seconds behind, is running 29.5, so only a tenth faster. So right now, this would not be enough. Eberhard needs another caution here if he wants to advance to stage 2, and the way the leaders are getting dicey again, we may get one.
Yeah, because that's the thing too. You have to remember these, wherever you finish, that's where you're going to start stage 2. So, yeah, okay, maybe you're in the top 20 and you're making it to stage 2, but that means you're starting in 20th position and you've got all those cars in front of you. You got to try and work through.
So the only other driver besides Eberhard, as Trevor Williams might get a bit of a hit there, who took his free repair under the first yellow, was Bo Tiffany. Bo Tiffany is not a part of this pack. He's running around in 18th, and who can blame him, keep that car clean for the rest of the night.
Yeah, definitely. It's not like this race has nothing on the line. These drivers have bragging rights. They have some prizes for the All-Star race. As much fun as I can imagine most of these guys are having in these cars in this race, you want to show good. You want to make it through the stages. You want to get to the end and maybe walk home with a prize. And we jump on board here with Jacob Manning.
Jacob Manning running 17th. Daniel Eberhard back in 21st has damage on his number 90 car. He actually got a piece of a wall all on his own coming out of turn 4 a few laps ago, so that might be hurting his speed.
Yeah, the nice thing about the body surround on these cars is you can bump the wall a little bit, but you just don't want to really bump it with the rear end because the tire is pretty open wide.
Sorry, Trevor Williams was sideways there. No, here we go.
Now we got, yeah.
Oh, they almost saved it, and then the 2 got turned. Michael Larch in the orange car. And Michael will have to take a free repair. He's crabbing back to the pits.
Yeah, that car's done.
Trevor Williams had a moment coming through turn 2, and then he never really recovered. And they're still kind of sorting themselves out down here on the back straight, and then bam, that's what causes it. And that's Ryan Johnson, I think, in the 38 flipping up and over.
Yeah, I just got together there, and then just not enough space for everybody, and while those two were trying to collect it, just trying to avoid it, but he came down and clipped his rear end. It's going to spin him around here, and now he's crabbing his way back to the pits.
Yeah, so Michael Larch and Ryan Johnson were the biggest two. So there's Trevor Williams. He's had his moment, the light blue car on the inside, and then they're 3 wide. They all bump into each other, and this is going to be a wild ride for Ryan Johnson, who probably thought he was safe, and then he wasn't.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely that car is going to need its fast repair for sure. I think Daniel Eberhard was involved in that one again. I'm not sure. I think Jacob Manning was okay on that one. But yeah, everybody these cars can get loose. It's not like they're stuck to the track and they don't move around. They do move around. I didn't really get the opportunity to run in a pack with them. I was running by myself. As we ride on board here with Jacob Manning, see what he sees through this whole thing.
Yeah, this is one benefit about not being in the pack that's what happens. I was going to say they would have been okay, but he got into the back of a 14 there, the 14 of Joshua Suss. As they were
I think maybe Joshua was... Yeah, I think he was checking up because he saw what was coming, and Jacob just wasn't ready for it. Just enough clip, and that's what I mean. Like, you bump these cars on the rear end. If you're off just a little bit, you're going to spin the car in front. Jacob Manning gets through it, but unfortunately, he spins the 14 doing it.
Jacob Maines has been given the wave around. They're going to have to give him a lot. Jason Maines has been given the wave around, but they're going to have to give him 12 if he wants to be back in contention. Right now, Jason Maines is going to be one of the 2 that get eliminated in 13 laps time. But who is going to be the other one is the question.
Well, you know what, Matt? 13 laps, so, if 6 more cars, if somebody else gets out, can he get enough laps in to put himself in the 20 if we lose a couple more cars, as long as he stays out on track?
So the driver I was seeing in 21st a moment ago was Scott Crump, who has picked up damage in his number 11 Hot Wheels liveried machine. Again, this is Schwindenhammer, Haynes, Suss, Johnson and Manning we are seeing on screen. Our 5 onboards for tonight, about a quarter of a field.
Yeah, and it's great to see. You can see the little smirks here from them. Where everybody looking, everybody kind of everybody looks relaxed. I don't think there's going to be much temper flaring tonight. Everybody looks like they're kind of having fun. A little grin there from Jacob Manning, and I love seeing onboards, seeing the different setups all these guys have. I think that is Joshua Suss with a couple helmets behind him. I'm just not sure which driver is which here of the top 3. Oh, okay. That's Jared Haynes with a few helmets behind him. Another got a steering wheel hanging there. We got Suss is our top right driver, and that would make William Schwindenhammer our top left driver. So yeah, it's great to see different setups, and you can see actually William Schwindenhammer there. Just almost looks like he's sitting at a desk, just racing away and doing well.
Well, the lights are about to go off a pace truck, so action will pick up here in the moment. So 21 cars still on the lead lap. A car that's in 21st, I believe, is Scott Crump, because he's been coming in. You can see him in that Hot Wheels, that orange, white and yellow car at the very back there. He's been coming in to get manual repairs. The 4 drivers, to my knowledge, that have used their fast repairs already are Bo Tiffany, Daniel Eberhardt, and from this latest caution, it would have been Michael Larch and Ryan Johnson. Those cars were significantly damaged during the last wreck. I don't think anyone else has used a free repair. But there we're seeing the 69 restarting on the front row. Randall Nichols, he has damage on the front end of his car, and he's going to be right at the very front.
Yeah, and that's where they want to be. I mean, he's still, more than halfway through this stage. As I said, this sets you up for your start for the next race. We are right on board here with Randall Nichols in the 69. Interesting livery. I really like that, all stamped all over. But yeah, we're getting ready to go green here. So let's let these guys get back at it.
And wonder how much money is printed on that car. Oh. Hopefully it doesn't turn out as bad as that Jaguar in the Monaco Grand Prix once that crashed with a diamond on the nose, and they never found the diamond when they got the car back. Here we go, back to green flag racing. And this is a much more organised restart. The previous restart, the field really got spread out, but here we are, double file. So there's going to be a lot of action in this next 12 laps. Again, you do not want to be 21st or 22nd, or you will be able to go no further.
Yeah, right now I get my timing screen showing me as Seth Reed and Jason Maines in 21st and 22nd right now. So they're definitely going to want to move up, or, want something to happen in these next few laps that will move them forward. Again, a lot can happen in 10 laps or less. So can everybody keep it together, and or do they get a chance to move forward?
You mentioned Seth Reed, that's that grey number 51 car who's put a couple of cars behind himself now. So Scott Crump, one of the big names of the regular season, is the driver sitting in that position that you don't want to be in, and he's going to try and pass Jacob Manning ahead of him. Jacob Manning, who still has some damage on the front of that 9 car.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much, depending on the damage, how much it's going to really affect the car. But yeah, Jacob, I'm sure, wants to, keep the position he's got. And I'm just taking a look here at, our 3rd place right now. James Shanewell has actually moved up 16 positions from, started 19th. And, he's put himself in good position for starting stage 2 if he can hold on to that, along with Jared Haynes. And I believe we are at 10 laps to go.
And I'm not sure that they will make it all the way to the end of the stage without another wreck. We haven't, that would be asking them to go about 15 laps without an incident, which was about what they've done so far tonight.
Yeah, I think, these are the kind of races where, you know, do you want to see the cautions? Don't you want to see the cautions? Right now, I think everybody should be good through to the end of stage one here. But you know what? Never know if somebody wants to move forward and they want to do a push and the push doesn't work. It's going to set off another caution. So we'll just have to hold on here and see if these guys manage to get aggressive. You're right on board with Jared Haynes. Look at the focus. Just okay. And you can see the wheel movement. I did notice that. This version of the track is very, very bumpy, and you really feel it in these cars. It really moves the steering wheel around. So yeah, definitely you know, something you want to keep an eye on too when you're driving these cars.
Well, all the 20 of these drivers should hope to play it safe right now, because the driver in 21st and last on the lead lap and at risk of being eliminated is Joshua Suss. He got kind of bumped up into the wall a couple of laps ago and has lost a lot of time from the main pack. So if we go green to the end, it will be Joshua Suss and Jason Maines going out.
Yeah, I mean, it's for any driver, it's you know, it's devastating when you come into these and, you know, you're knocked out in the first round. You know, especially if you've put in a lot of practice to prepare for it. But yeah, you know, be unfortunate, but you know, we still have 20 drivers jumping into stage 2 as we jump on board with William Schwindenhammer, battling Joshua Suss. Whoa, we got a wreck.
Seth Reed is one of the cars involved, barrel rolling out of turn 4. There were a few others. And I said these drivers just needed to make it to the end. They would have all made it.
Well, this is one of those nights where we're not gonna haggle you when you say caution. They're actually kind of, you know, cautions. You know, coming back out on track doesn't count, as we get a replay here of what happened. It looks like the 77, yeah, just got up into the 51 and just chain reaction. And we were on board there with William Schwindenhammer and just saw it right out his windshield.
Yeah, 77 is Brenton Barker, and the 38 of Ryan Johnson and the 2 of Michael Larch used their free repair in the previous caution, and they were both in this wreck. Are they done for the night?
Well, and that's the thing. If depending on what your position was with the number of laps remaining, do you go and just sit in the pit? Because, I mean, if you don't finish the stage, that's not going to matter as long as you're within the top 20 when the final count is done. It's just, wow, I just got through that very, that's just so much fun to watch. So yeah, I mean, if you're a couple laps ahead of Seth Reed, Jason Maines, you could almost go sit in the pits and get as much repair as you can until stage 2, if you've already used your fast repair, because you can still, you know, you can still get more repairs coming into stage 2.
There are 5 cars sitting in the pits right now, and they're not going to lose any laps while there's a yellow, but any of them that tow to the pits will automatically be a lap down. I think that is the case with Seth Reed, who had to tow to the pits because he was upside down. That's normally a reason why you would want to tow to the pits. If your wheels are not on the track and you cannot drive a track back, it's not back to the pits, it's normally best for you to tow.
Yeah, I definitely want to tow the car. You know, I mean, if it's drivable and you can do it without messing anybody else up, go for it. You might actually get back to the pits faster. But yeah, you know, most of these drivers are familiar with, you know, get the car off the track as quickly as possible. So yeah, unfortunate right now for Seth Reed, Jason Maines, both a lap down, you know, at least one lap down from the entire field with under 10 to go here. So that may be our 2 eliminators out of stage 1.
Pace truck lights stay on for another lap. I mentioned that I wasn't sure we were going to get to lap 40 without another yellow. Hopefully they should be able to make it here from now. Our director says I was pretty confident with that bet, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were quite confident we weren't going to make it, and you know, you were right on that call for sure. Sorry, I'm just listening to some of the chatter on the radio channels, and these guys are, you know, as much as this is all happening, these guys are having fun. You can hear the giggles, you can hear the smile, you can hear their smiles as they chat. They're having a lot of fun running this race for sure.
Yeah, a couple of cars have exited the pits. There's just 2 left sitting there now. Ryan Johnson and Seth Reed. Again, the advantage Seth Reed has over Ryan Johnson is and Seth Reed is rolling now. So the only car still sitting in his pit stall is Ryan Johnson. He cannot take a free repair because he's already used his. So it looks like it might be Ryan Johnson and Jason Maines going out in this stage. He's still got the headset on, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he'll be able to drive that back out there. He's just waiting for the caution to end. Get as many repairs as he can.
Well, right now, if he can get out in front of Seth Reed, that will put him back into 20th. So if he wants to sit and get as much repair as he can, watch that relative and watch for the pit truck to be coming around and get out in front of Seth Reed. He will move him down as I see a bunch of shifting on the timing screen go on here. So we'll have to see how this all sorts out on the timing screen.
Yeah, well, the pace track lights have gone off, so Ryan Johnson is going to sit in his pit stall for probably another 20 seconds or so, but then, providing his car isn't out of a race, and if it was out of a race, he probably wouldn't have had his VR headset still on. It looks like he still wants to go. And here he goes. Are you going, Ryan? He's making some motion. See if he's able to drive it back out, if he's able to try and race for a top 20.
It looks like he's just keeping an eye on things here as, the pace truck's coming around, entering 3 and 4. But he does have to get out there. Otherwise, Seth Reed has the opportunity to steal the 20th position away from him. Or is it Joshua? I'm just watching the timing stream. So Seth Reed, Joshua Suss is who he would be battling for 20th between those two once we go green.
Yeah, so there's 20 cars you all see packed together here. Ryan Johnson is in the pits, and the 22nd place car of Jason Maines is still out there, but he's going to lay back a little bit because he's 11 laps down. So these 20 are most likely going to be your 20 that advance to stage 2, but we've still got 6 laps left to see what happens, and a really bad restart on the high line.
Yeah, I just didn't get on it fast enough there. Maybe, was talking or just, miscalculated. But they're all going to line up here. And, we'll see what they can do here. Now I'm just trying to see if Ryan is back out on track. I do not believe he is. He's still in the pits. So, yeah, probably not going to be a good evening for him once we hit lap 40.
5 laps left to go in stage 1 as they come across the line with Shane Wolf now leading the field ahead of Randall Nichols. James kind of got up to the front and we didn't really talk about it because there was all that drama going on, but he is the Pied Piper at the front of the field now with that damaged number 69 of Randall Nichols behind, and there's another problem down the back straight.
Yeah, we got a car rolling down the back straight. Not sure who that is right now. Matthew Robinson. Director, get us a replay here of what happened.
He got a bump from behind from the 77 of Brenton Barker.
Oh yeah, just tried to push the car too close to him, and like I said, you can bump these cars, but you don't want to do it unless you're dead straight, because it really will send the rear end around, and it kind of looks like that's what happened here. He just got too close and wasn't lined up with that V in the back, and just sent him spinning.
So is Ryan Johnson too badly damaged to continue? Because with this caution, he's only lost 1 lap. If he could get back out there, he might be able to beat one of these cars.
Yeah, my time is showing him as 2 laps down with Matthew Robinson as 1 lap down. So yeah, if he could get back out there for, what do we got, 5 laps to go?
And there could be more cautions before the end of this. Remember though, this won't go on forever. A, because there's a 2-hour time limit, and B, because every time we're seeing a wreck, we're seeing cars that are having to use a free repair, and once they lose that free repair, they're kind of down to their final life, and that will encourage them to maybe be a little bit safer going forward.
Yeah, and you know what? Honestly, I have to say, if it was me, and if I was to look at the timing, and I had a damaged car, and say I was in, maybe between 11th and 18th, I'd probably pit till the end of the race and get as much repair done on my car as I possibly can. As we look at our onboard drivers here, a little bit cramped hands, and you could just see nobody's really tense. Nobody's really like, yeah, everybody's very, very relaxed here, and I mean that's what you want to see in an all-star race. Everybody just relaxed, enjoying themselves, and having some fun for sure.
And we don't see Ryan Johnson there, which maybe makes me think that he may have left his sim and he is out of a race along with Jason Maines. I just saw Jason...
Oh, there he is. He just, he's up there now, but I mean, he's still sitting in the pits there. So I would, I'd have to check with the race director, but I'm wondering if, because they only had a showing for 22 tonight, I'm wondering if they are going to knock out those two drivers for the second stage. I would imagine they would keep that rule. But maybe there was an adjustment. We'll have to see when we finish this stage off and jump into stage 2, if there is even an elimination for stage 1.
Just trying to work out why they were giving Jason Maines a wave around under... Oh, it's Michael Larcher's getting back out there despite his incidents. Why they were giving Jason Maines a wave around even though laps don't count under caution. Would he get a lap back? It seems that he does. My time in scoring said he was 11 laps down, and now it says he's 10 laps down. So, if there's 10 more cautions between now and the end of the stage, Jason Maines might be able to get back up there and get into the second stage, but we'll see. Brenton Barker has been given an EOL penalty. So he'll restart from the back. Now, I would argue that he had brought out the last 2 cautions, which during a normal championship race would result in his disqualification. However, I wonder if they're kind of overlooking that for the All-Star race.
I believe they are. I mean, I'm sure he's been warned at this point. But yeah, definitely something, if I can get in touch with the director, I will find out. But yeah, as you say, you're normally in the Gen 4, the Rolling Thunder Gen 4s, they in the series, after 2 incidents you've caused 2 incidents, you are out of the race for the rest of the session. So it will be interesting to see if the stewards do anything, because they are doing live stewarding tonight.
So James Shane Wolf will lead the field back to green. We should see the pace truck lights go off here. Randall Nichols second, and then Jared Haynes and Matthew Molnar on row number 2. We have got 4 laps left to the end of stage 1 at the completion of lap 40. This race is 4 stages tonight. And 20 cars will make it into stage 2, 15 cars will make it into stage 3, and 10 cars will make it into the final stage.
Yeah, and so far it's been a lot of fun to watch. I mean, again, you don't want to see the wrecks. You want to see these guys run fast, run green like they do in the series. But I mean, even just these cars themselves, like I said, I got an opportunity to drive them. They're just so much fun. Really, really just get out there and enjoy themselves as they come down the back stretch here. The lights out on the pace truck. So we're going to go green again and see if we can make it to the end of this stage without that pretty yellow flag coming out again.
Yeah, I think the intensity went up a little bit with these drivers. Once they knew that Ryan Johnson and Jason Maines are pretty much out of contention at this point, because they can afford to race a bit harder. They don't have to worry about dropping the 21st and being eliminated. If they get in the wreck for 3/4 of the field, they can just use fast repair. Again, there might be less wrecks as we go on and as there's less cars competing, so... again, if I were in this race, I would want to save my free repair for later, but not the end of the world if you end up using it now. Here we go then. James Shane Wolf, control of the field, gets a nice little jump as we go back to racing.
Yeah, I got a nice little jump on the field there, pulling out a little bit of a gap, and that's the thing. Do you want that gap? Yeah, probably right now at this stage of the race. So you see the pack in the back there behind them, about 4 or 5 cars back. They're packed up pretty tight there. Because you got to remember this, this is going to set your position for stage 2 as well. So you want to finish well, you want to be up front for the next stage and try and keep that position to be able to move on through all 4 stages tonight.
So Ryan Johnson is actually back out on track, and here's the thing: Brenton Barker and Ryan and Matthew Robinson are in the pits getting repairs. So Ryan Johnson will actually move. There he goes. He's up in 20th. You see it on time and scoring now. Matthew Robinson is in position to be eliminated.
Yeah, and he's probably managed to get quite a bit of repair done to his car. He was in the pits for a good 9 minutes. I think he's going to come around here and he's going to take 19th from Brenton Barker too, who's actually still in the pits. I can see it's still counting. He's in 6 minutes in. So, you know, he's probably got a pretty good car underneath him right now, just sitting there getting all the repair done that he did.
James Shane Wolf leading the field. They're about to come to the white flag to start the final lap of stage 1. Of course, Barney doesn't know that. AI technology has not gotten that intelligent yet. But our days are surely numbered. James Shane Wolf then begins the final lap of stage number 1 with Randall Nichols looking for the lead. He wants the bragging rights to say that he's going to win the first stage, even with the damage. Oh, the yellows came out. There we go. So it's actually at the start of lap 40. We've thrown the caution here to complete the first stage.
Yeah, so that's the stage complete. Well, so Ryan Johnson, as I said, got himself up in the 19th. Pushed Brenton Barker down to 20th, but that leaves Matthew Robinson and Jason Maines probably are eliminated drivers coming into stage 2.
No, now it's showing me that Matthew Robinson is ahead of Brenton Barker. I'm trying to figure that one out. Either way, they've both been in the pits for a while, so I think they're pretty much both out of contention. Jason Maines has been disqualified because, of course, he is multiple laps down, so that's confirmation that he has been eliminated. Waiting for news here. Brenton Barker. So Matthew Robinson and Ryan Johnson get to continue. Brenton Barker and Jason Maines are out. 20 cars left for stage 2, which will be 30 laps.
Yeah, we'll see. Actually, the drivers are even asking for clarification there. So I guess when we come around and we hit the white flag for that, so when we got the 40th lap, that is when the caution was going to come out. So, you know, the next stage is 30 laps. So on lap 30 is when the stage will end, is when they come around to start lap 30, not completion of that lap.
Yeah, and I think the reason they did this, I understand the confusion. I mean, I was confused as well. I would have thought that the caution would have flown at the completion of lap 40. But what this does mean is that, well, I think it does mean that stage 2 will start on lap 41, and that means that stage 2 will end at the start of lap 70. But the race should end at the end of the 4th stage at the completion of lap 95. Well, pit stops going on underway here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. They've got to sort out the order. We'll have 20 cars left racing when we come back for that 2nd stage.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Hello and welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is a Rolling Thunder Racing Series All-Star race. And we have completed the first of 4 stages here tonight. We've eliminated 2 cars, Jason Maines and Brenton Barker, and we're down to 20 cars. And Ryan Johnson and Matthew Robinson are a couple laps down, so they'll be trying to get waiver rounds and join the 18 cars on the lead lap. These caution laps aren't counting, so drivers can come into the pits, get some repairs. A lot of these cars out here on new tyres, probably a little bit of fuel as well. And once again, it's James Shanewolf, a name that I've got to admit I don't think I'm that familiar with, leading the field around.
Yeah, the finish set the field for. I think Shane Wolf is one of our newer drivers. I think he just recently joined the series. I think around round 7, I believe he came into the Rolling Thunder series, which would have him in here tonight. He's been showing he can drive as well. So, yeah, I'm not surprised to kind of see him up front.
The lights are off on the pace truck. We're getting ready for this second stage now. So this is going to be 30 laps. That means watch your lap counter on the top left corner of your screen. It will end on lap 70 out of 21,474,000,000. No, I've already got it wrong. Okay. But what you want to do by the end of stage 2 is you want to be in the top 15. Here's the problem. We've already had at least 6 cars out there who have used up their 1 free repair, and we seem to be on track for a caution every 10 to 15 laps. That means we're probably going to have 2 or 3 cautions during this stint, and that means that we might not even have 15 cars left by the end of stage number 2. Who knows? And these are the prizes that the drivers get if they finish in the top 7, which makes me regret not signing up as a driver. But here we go, coming back to Green Flag Racing with Luke Smith, actually. Oh, I apologise. Time in the scoring hadn't updated for me because we weren't counting caution laps. That's Luke Smith in the 39 leading the field back to green. So here we go. It's Dylan Jones now worked his way up to 2nd place, and Daniel Eberhardt 3rd, and Scott Crump 4th. So we actually have some familiar names up front now, whereas we had our James Shanewolf winning stage 1. He's now down in 7th place.
Yeah, I'm hearing again. Once again, I've got the chatter for the radio on right now too, and I'm hearing a lot of chatter of the guys, putting their foot down, and just there's no pace. And I mean, if you look at some of these cars, we've got some crinkle hoods, we've got little bits bumps and bang. Look at the 90 there. That front absolutely going to destroy his aero, but he's going to jump up there and give Smith a really good bump. With that bent bumper, that could be disastrous if he happens to catch him on the wrong side. I love the watermelon helmet.
And as they go by the pits, Matthew Robinson is still in the pits for damage. So even though he advanced into round 2 here, into stage 2, it looks like he won't continue. He won't advance. That leaves us with 19 cars. 1 lap down is Ryan Johnson, so he'll be hoping for another caution. The other 18 have to duke it out. Michael Larch running several seconds behind. He's already been in a couple of incidents today. This is where the action is, though, inside the top 10.
Yeah, a little bit cleaner going on here now. Is everybody kind of wiggling around just a little bit. But I think, everybody might be settled down a little bit from that first round. This one you're going to have to take a little bit more seriously. As you said, next round 15, we got a car in the wall. Just got on board there with William Schwimmenhammer and Joshua Suss, who are, battling there, and unfortunately got a car in the wall. No caution out. So we are still green and we are still running. Looks like you gathered it up.
Yeah, and we got a nice reaction of them chatting there that seemed to be smiling about it, or maybe he was the opposite. It just looked like he was smiling, but he was actually angry. But kept the car pointing in the right direction. That keeps the screen, although this pack up front is trying to change that.
Yeah, a little bit more aggressive bumping going on here. I'm actually surprised. You know what? I'm not surprised to see this. Like I said, I can hear the chatter on the radio, and they're giggling a little bit, but there's some seriousness too. You know, they want to be in that top 15, so they don't want to mess around too much. As you can see Jacob there, just, you know, nice and comfortable, just holding onto the wheel, making sure the car's steady. You know, let loose of the wheel a little bit there. So, you know, your hands get tired with, you know, running ovals. I know mine do. So just a little wiggle of the fingers, get the blood flowing again.
About 10 cars running side by side with Luke Smith still leading them. Daniel Eberhardt actually led last lap around. He had a bit of a rough start, but it seems this is one of those races where if you're going to have issues, as long as you don't lose a free repair, have them early. Everyone's kind of ran into some kind of issue today, but those who had them early and were able to get away with them are working their way up towards the front.
Yeah, we're right on board here with Jared Haynes, you know, currently in 10th position. You know, kind of a comfortable spot, just kind of keep it clean. But I mean, you know, no slouch here, you know, he's got his eyes forward, you know, kind of focused on what his car's doing. And like I said, if you watch his hands there, just the bumps on this version of the track, it took me by surprise actually in this car, how much you feel them. Because like I said, they're just, as far as I'm concerned, they're, you know, high-powered go-karts with a full body on them. So very, very stiff and no suspension on them whatsoever, really.
These guys having a lot of fun running all on top of each other. The first car outside the pack, that black car you see back there, that is Bo Tiffany, who used his free repair at the very start of a race, so you can understand why he might not want to be part of his pack. Daniel Eberhardt now leading the field.
Yeah, I figured we were going to see his big bump. That's really big bump by Jones there. Yeah, Eberhardt's going to.
Oh, here we go.
Nope, we got. Lots of cars banging around here.
Yeah, it happened right about 3rd, 4th, and 5th. They tried to go 3 wide. Oh, look at that one car. It can't get going.
Yeah, I heard. I listened to the radio chatter. I think somebody clipped the grass there. It just came down too low. He was saying he clipped the grass.
Yeah, well, he tried to make it
right
3
there,
wide.
Yeah, tried to make it 3 wide, clipped the grass, and yeah, just sent everybody flying.
That's Scott Crump and Jacob Manning who have the big hit there. Scott Crump in the Hot Wheels car. And yeah, Jacob Manning tried to come down, and I don't think he might have not realised they were 3 wide. It all happened so quickly. But here's the thing. Manning and Crump were in big incidents earlier. I don't think they used their free repair, though. They might be able to continue. What happens to Colin Weatherholt here? Does he get through? No, he does not.
No, he does not.
That's a fast repair. Jacob Manning is out of a race.
Yeah, Jacob Manning has left the server, so he has retired his car. Obviously, too much damage to get repairs. You can see from on board here from Jared Haynes. You know, heavy hit in the front, side bang. Yeah, lots of damage to these cars. Some rollovers. Devastating for a lot of these drivers, but it's going to make a few other drivers very happy. You know, going to get them maybe up into the top 15 if they were running a little lower on the bubble. William Schwindenhammer, Joshua Suss, you know, they were on the bubble at that point, and now they've moved up to, while my timing screen moves around, you know, somewhere between 6th and 10th place. So, you know, advantage for some drivers, disadvantage for others.
Ryan Johnson should be getting a wave around and back out onto the lead lap. A lot of cars in the pits getting repairs or tyres or fuel. For the most part, it doesn't really matter. All cars should be in quite raceable condition as long as they don't have excessive damage. Even the cars with minor damage here tonight are still able to continue.
Yeah, really only if, you know, you have some serious steering, you know, if it sends your steering wheel off, or, you know, maybe a really bent tire in the rear like we saw the crab walk earlier. You can keep running them. Yeah, and just got confirmation Jacob Manning has retired from the server. So he is done for the night, leaving us with our onboards with William Schwindenhammer, Joshua Suss, Ryan Johnson, and Jared Haynes. Again, I'm listening to the chatter here, and I mean, nobody's really getting angry. I think there was somebody got a little upset there for a minute, and then it was just, you know what, guys, you know what, let's just have some fun. And it's great to see them say, like, yeah, I get this. There's something we're working for here, but you know what, this is fun. This is fun to be able to race and not worry as much as you do in the season where you're battling for points and you're trying to beat that other driver to win yourself a championship.
Yeah, certainly been a different and unpredictable race, and this could not be absolutely more different than what we see in the regular Gen 4 races. On another note, our current race leader, Daniel Eberhardt. And actually, Dylan Jones right behind him, so no, this is quite familiar.
Yeah, those two battle all season long. So, yeah, just going to be really something. Yeah, actually, I've got Joshua Suss and Marco Larch in P1 and P2. And then Daniel and Dylan Jones side by side to start this next round.
Yeah, I think what happens there is timing and scoring, because caution laps aren't counting. If a driver tows to the pits, Scott Crump is now officially out of a race. Yeah, I thought he'd been in a couple of wrecks. So that's why you may see some positions pop up a little bit out of order. But we can see it as Eberhardt behind the pace car ahead of Dylan Jones. So 20 cars started stage 2. Matthew Robinson pretty much didn't get to start. He advanced, but didn't get to start. And that wreck has taken out Scott Crump and Jacob Manning. Yeah, so that really puts us down to 17 cars.
Yeah, because I mean, if he's left the server, that means his car is done. There's no ability for them to fix the car. So definitely, it's going to move Ryan Johnson up and Matthew Robinson up into 17th, 21st. But if they're going to need to get back out on track, if they want to get above that number 15 bubble currently being held by William Schwindenhammer.
Yeah, like you're saying, Matthew Robinson and Ryan Johnson are in the pits. Ryan Johnson getting repairs. Matthew Robinson 13 laps down. Two other drivers who will want to keep an eye on are Joshua Suss and Michael Larch. That's Joshua Suss joined in the back of a pack there in that blue and white number 14 car. They've both been involved in their fair share of incidents tonight, so that they'll be fighting for those last couple of top 15 positions. Again, though, we seem to be averaging a caution every 10 or 15 laps. We've got 20 laps left in this stage, so do not be surprised if we see the yellow fly one more time before we go down to our final 15 cars.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's almost like we want to curse them tonight. I'm kind of liking the cautions. Lots of flipping and fun, but a lot of these drivers don't want to see another caution. Maybe Joshua Suss, Ryan Johnson, and Matthew Robinson would like to see another caution, but everybody else out on track right now really doesn't want to see that caution come out until the end of the stage.
Well, we're not seeing the yellow right now. We're seeing the green flag as Daniel Eberhardt leads them to the field. And one car spinning, two cars spinning through the grass, but we stay green.
Yeah, I managed to gather it up there, keep us green. It's good to see that, that caution not come out. Because again, I mean, caution laps don't count, but, get into the racing and let's move this thing forward. Definitely something they want to do tonight. We look back from Daniel Eberhardt here with Luke Smith right on his tail here, and then followed very, very close by Dylan Jones, who's shown he's not afraid to make a move to get up front.
That was Bo Tafani and Dean Gagliano who went sliding through the grass. I don't think we've mentioned Dean's name at all today, but he's running there in 13th place still, so in position to advance. We ride on board Randall Nichols now in the 69, who we've definitely mentioned a few times tonight because he's been running up front despite damage. Daniel Eberhardt, who we've mentioned a few times this season, that's for sure. And Luke Smith, who has been having a good race tonight.
Yeah, and like I said, everybody just kind of having fun tonight, but wanting to move forward. Right now, Bo Tiffany, Ryan M. Johnson, Matthew Robinson are three drivers currently on the bubble for elimination into stage 3. So, they're going to be fighting. Ryan Johnson is one lap down. We're on board here with Seth Reed, currently in 5th position. You know, trying to maybe taking a thought of making it 3 wide, because like I said, you can do it in these cars, but so far every time they've tried it tonight, it has not gone well.
Yeah, and Seth Reed is one of the drivers who has definitely used a free repair already. He had a big crash earlier on, so he's going to want to be a little cautious. He can't afford to do that again. Running on the back of Trevor Williams right now and getting into the back of Trevor Williams, bump drafting him out of turn 4.
Yeah, and you can see the big wiggle, and I mean, these cars, you can kind of gather them up. It's not like the Gen 4s or an Xfinity car or a stock car where, if that rear end starts to get loose, you're pretty much just hanging on. These ones, you can kind of gather it up because you're not super high speed, fair amount of grip. So we're going to see drivers slide sideways. We're going to see them catch it, but we are going to see the unfortunate incidents as well.
Yeah, so 2 other things of note. First off, Colin Weatherholt in that green and black car at the back of his pack. He is also racing out there after having used his free repair. And the second, Ryan Johnson is in 17th position, and you would like to think he was still in contention. However, the reason he's pitting so much, that car is badly damaged. It is 5 seconds a lap off the pace of everyone else.
Yeah, extremely damaged, but he is only 1 lap down, and that's and then we've got as we ride on board here with Daniel Eberhardt, Bo Tiffany, our other possible driver, that could be eliminated here tonight from this stage. Michael Larch currently sitting on the bubble right now, but you saw Ryan Johnson. There's a lot of damage on that car. A lot of these cars are running with front end damage right now after all those incidents. It'd be interesting to know who's got fast repairs left when we come into the next 2 stages.
And there's Ryan Johnson going the second lap down, just so sluggish off the pace up on the high side there. Speaking of which, you mentioned Michael Larch in 15th and Bo Tiffany in 16th. Michael Larch is also suffering from damage as Trevor Williams gets sideways and causes a wreck on the back straight. This brings out the yellow. Trevor Williams and 2 other cars.
And Bo Tiffany, I believe, was caught up in that.
Dylan Jones and Luke Smith. So 3 drivers who I don't think have been in a wreck yet today, and they might be able to get away with this without using their free repair.
Yeah, just up too close there, and it just caught the. Can't see the numbers this close, but yeah, I just caught the blue car there and sent him out. And unfortunately, collected 2 other cars once he got that bump and got turned sideways right there. Takes out 2 other cars. Very, very unfortunate for them for sure.
My director just pointed out to me that I do have something on my time in the scoring here that tells me if we've used a free repair, so that's a handy little tool.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I can turn that on mine.
Yeah, we'll give you an update here. So 1 out of 1 means they've used it, director. Okay, so the only ones I'm seeing 0 out of 1 are Randall Nichols, Matthew Molnar, Sean Corcoran, Dean Gagliano, maybe a couple others. All the positions are kind of shifting around right now because we've got a lot of the cars in the pits.
Yeah, mine's currently updating right now too. So yeah, we'll definitely get that all sorted out for sure.
Well, with all these cars pitting, Randall Nichols will lead the field back to green. This is lap 58. Again, caution laps not counting. 15 cars will advance at the end of stage 2, round 2, which will be the end of lap 70. And I think at this rate, it will be the 15 cars that are still running.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else is going to be able to make up, which would basically, so we've lost Trevor Williams. He's left the server now. Scott Crump has left the server. And that just leaves Ryan Johnson still kind of running around. And we are on lap 4. So we're actually only on lap 18 of 30. If right? No, 40, 50. Yeah, we're only on lap 18. Yeah. So, he still has the opportunity to move himself forward, as we've seen. Anything's going to happen with these guys tonight. So, still lots of laps to go and lots to find out about. And so Randall Nichols, Matthew Molnar have not used their fast repair, running in second and third. Sean Corcoran, Dean Gagliano have not used their fast repair.
Yep, and that's it. Those are the only four out there who have not used their fast repair yet.
So we got 4 cars with no fast repair. Everybody else is going to have to sit in the garage and get their repairs done, depending on what's kind of damages with the car. But we've seen if they've got really, really heavy front end damage, there's just no pace in the car for them. So definitely going to want to keep that front end as neatly intact as possible.
But because nobody's going a lap down, because caution laps don't count and everyone's pitting for repairs under caution, Ryan Johnson keeps getting the wave around. Again, he's 5 seconds a lap off a pace. And when we go back to green, he quickly goes from being 1 lap down to 2 laps down because he gets lapped. Then we get a caution and he gets a lap back and he's only 1 lap down now again. Again, he's got a lot of repairs to do. But if this rate of attrition continues, he might be able to get back up there in the top 15. And who knows, come the final stage, if he's up in that top 10, his car might be fully repaired.
Yeah, going to be coming around to go green and with 11 laps to go. And we've seen, you know, how easy it is to set these cars off and the chain reactions. So it's all up to the front runners, you know, those top 15, how they want to run here, coming around for these last 11 laps once we go green.
Again, as you mentioned, the pace truck lights are now off. So Randall Nichols getting ready to lead Matthew Molnar and co back to green. Those top 2, both with a little damage on their cars, but they have not used their free repairs yet. And maybe they'll be lucky and not have to use them at all.
Well, yeah. So just a little insight here. The race control has kind of issued a warning to the whole field to kind of settle it down a little bit. You know, obviously race control not happy with all of the cautions that are coming out, and you know, just getting the guys to, you know, settle in a little bit here. You know, but everybody still looks kind of relaxed. Nobody really looking all that stressed out right now. But right now we're, you know, Ryan Johnson and Matthew Robinson are looking like our current eliminators if we go green for 11 laps. So yeah, if you look at so if you look on the you know, while looking at the screen, if you look at the left-hand side of the screen there, some of William Schwindenhammer, he's got quite a few medals sitting there on the table. Have to, you know, see how he does in the race here and maybe get him at some point and find out what all those medals are for.
Yeah, might end up getting another medal here at the end of the night. All right, here we go then. Back to green flag racing with 12 laps left to go in stage number 2. Talking about trying to make the race a bit cleaner, we have 49 minutes of racing action left. Hopefully we should... Oh, that is not a good restart by Randall Nichols. For the first time tonight, they're side by side at the line.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, they got a little bit of a warning from race control, so I think, you know, kind of everybody's trying to settle down here just a little bit. I mean, obviously doesn't look at it right now. If you look at, you know, our top 4 there, really running close to each other, you know, less than 1/10 of a second, and big push there from the third, from Shane Wolf there on Nichols. You got to be really careful with that. Like I said, you can set that car loose so easy just by bumping them the wrong way, and that's not a good way to bump.
And Luke Smith is still in the pits getting repairs. He's been running really well, leading tonight, running up front. So what that means, Matthew Robinson is definitely out. Scott Crump, Jacob Manning, Trevor Williams, and right now it looks like Luke Smith is going to join them as our 5 cars going out.
Yeah, Ryan Johnson, you know, just using his time and, you know, playing the strategy right, getting his car repaired. You know, he's got himself in the top 15. All he needs to do is hold on to that for another 10 laps. And he's good to go into the next stage with a probably pretty well repaired car at this point.
Oh, Randall Nichols. Yeah, race leader at the big wiggle.
Yeah, you get down underneath that line there, it can really upset the car, just the change in banking in the track. as we look out, off to the left-hand side, right-hand side there, Randall Nichols, car on his outside, and Shane Wolf not really giving him any room here, just telling him, look, I want around you, and he's going to push him hard. He's giving him really, really heavy bumps here. But Randall Nichols holding on to it well, hitting 184, 185, 187 mile an hour coming into the corner. So, I mean, even in these little cars, they're still moving.
And here go, oh boy, a bump gone wrong there. So that was a bit of an aggressive move. Nichols still trying to regain control up in the wall. So I think that's what we saw 2 laps ago. Shane Wolf got into the back of Nichols exiting turn 2 and got him loose, and that's what almost caused the first moment. But what happened the second moment there is Shane Wolf saw an opportunity to kind of take a lead going down the front straight. Nichols, I don't think, maybe didn't see him in his mirror and tried to take his regular racing line. Contact happened and Nichols had a miraculous save, but it sends him to the back, and now Shane Wolf getting a bit of his own medicine with Eberhard knocking on the back door and taking the lead.
I was just going to say that. Kind of Eberhard came up and kind of gave him a taste of his own medicine that he just delivered, gave him a little bump, shifted him up the track, said, here, you know what, if we want to race like that, I am all for it. Eberhard has shown that he can drive, and he definitely took advantage of that for sure.
So Molnar in second. Nichols, by the way, has dropped all the way back to 12th place, so they're both still in position to advance at the completion of lap 70. Again, the top 15 advance, and right now you can see 16th on back and multiple laps down, so it looks like we know who those top 15 will be as we are at 5 laps left to go in stage 2.
Yeah, and great job. William Schwindenhammer, Joshua Suss, they made it into the top 15. They were kind of down there underneath the bubble there with those incidents and those cautions and the cars getting knocked out. They made themselves into the top 15. The biggest loser from all of that chaos is Luke Smith, who was running quite well and unfortunately is currently now showing me, by my timing screen, showing 7 laps down to Ryan, and 6 laps down to Ryan Johnson, currently holding on to that 15th position as we ride on board with him. You can see he's just got no speed right now, just letting everybody go around him. And he may have the speed right now, but his car does look pretty banged up. So again, get through this stage, get as much repair done on the car as you can. And I believe they are allowed to do repairs on the car in between stages. I didn't check that on the during the last stage break, but I believe they can come into the pits and more repairs will happen on their cars.
Yeah, I don't see how you would enforce that not happening, to be honest. But the good news for Ryan Johnson fans is he's now only 4 seconds off the pace. Last time I checked, he was 5 seconds off the pace. So those repairs are working slowly but surely. Anyhow, a nice battle continues between Shane Wolf and Eberhard at the front of the field. Now, again, it looks like they're throwing these stage cautions at the start of lap set. Oh boy, as Eberhard tried to come into a gap that wasn't there. So they're starting lap 69 now, so I think this is the one to go, and it's Dylan Jones who is now going to try and make a move and take a stage win from Shane Wolf.
Yeah, he got really, really close there down on Weatherholt there. Jones did, so he had to back out of a little bit, but Weatherholt's going to go up here and try and move Shane Wolf out of the way and maybe take a win here if he can.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to. So Shane Wolf, I think he won stage 1. He's going to win stage 2 as well here as we start lap 70. And so 15 cars advance, 5 cars go no
there's
further,
the caution.
but
Yeah,
they were all 5 cars who were pretty much out of it anyway.
Yeah, so it looks like we're going to lose Matthew Robinson and Luke Smith coming into stage 3. And we'll see if some cars can get some more repairs and maybe be a little bit more competitive in stage 2 when we drop it down to 10 cars left for stage 1.
Yeah, so stage 3 coming up will be 15 laps long and 10 cars will make it into the final stage. Well, it looks like we're going to take a quick break here on the Rolling Thunder Racing Series All-Star Race, and we will be back for the final 2 stages and 25 laps of racing action.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
A lot of cars coming into the pits with 2 stages, 25 laps of racing action left to go. There you see Ryan Johnson catching up with the pack once again after getting a wave around, and he'll be for sure coming into the pits to get some of his damages repaired. Here are the prizes that they're all racing for, Robert.
Yeah, tonight, once we get into our final stage and 10 drivers, the first to finish 5th place tonight are going to receive a 4K webcam, which hopefully they can bring them online and we can have some more onboards when we're riding with these drivers. 6th and 7th place tonight are going to get a $50 gift card for Top Golf, which they can use at any time. And of course, they're going to get some bragging rights if they happen to win the All-Star race, or actually manage to make it to the end of the All-Star race. I think they're going to get some bragging rights as well.
Yeah, some cars coming into the pits will give you an order as we go back to green flag racing. We had 5 on boards at the start of this. Jacob Manning is one of our retirees, so we're down to 4 on boards left. Let's talk about the drivers who haven't made it so far. In this latest stage, Luke Smith, Trevor Williams, Jacob Manning, Scott Crump and Matthew Robinson were eliminated. And in the first stage, Brenton Barker and Jason Maines were eliminated. However, we seem to be going along at a fairly consistent rate of the drivers who are eliminated are the ones who can't run anymore. All 15 cars left running are the competitive ones, with the exception of Ryan Johnson, who's been trying to get some pretty heavy damage repaired on his number 38 machine and is 1 lap down.
Yeah, if he can, he's been fighting to stay in this, and he's been, I hope his luck holds out tonight. He's been fighting and fighting to stay in this race, has been able to get himself just over the bubble every single time. Not sure if he's going to have enough to do it this time, but we're going to find out in 15 laps.
Yeah, well, this is really the first tough stage, I think. There's a possibility that we could do this... Not a probability, but a possibility that we could do this whole stage without a yellow, and that means that you're going to have to race for one of those top 10 positions.
Well, for sure. But I mean, we've seen these drivers start getting kind of aggressive here, as we're at the halfway point here. We've been seeing these drivers get quite aggressive. Some really, really heavy pushing by a few of these drivers. It's just going to be, are they just going to maintain this and continue to do what they're doing? Or is somebody going to settle down a little bit and maybe give us a 15-lap green run?
Yeah, but the other thing I've got to imagine, Robert, and I'm seeing it a little bit, is they're getting smarter. This isn't something people normally go on iRacing to do. The pack race sprint cars, it's not exactly the most widely raced car on the platform. And, there would have been a lot of questions for them to answer. You were talking about how they were all complaining about how these cars are slow to get up to speed. Just discovering your blind spots, discovering how big the car is. How is it going to handle on old tires? How is it going to handle on new tires? How's it handling with damage? These are all questions that they now have 70 laps of racing experience knowing the answers to them.
Yeah, tires not so much of an issue with these cars. It doesn't burn the tires off. That's why I said they have a lot of grip as we enter turn 3 here. It's just a matter of where you place the car. And again, I said they will run 3 lines. These cars can do it. I ran the car up against the wall and it did it quite well. So I expect to maybe see them start doing that as well. Maybe get away from the pushing. So we come around here and wait for Barney to wave the green flag and get us back underway for stage 3, 15 laps.
15 laps, so we'll be going to lap 85 in this stage, and the top 10 will advance. Caution laps don't count. Who knows if we'll have any, as Daniel Eberhardt leads them back to green.
Yeah, just showing his prowess there. Really good launch. Really good start by Daniel. Dylan Jones, again, 2 drivers we see a lot of in the Rolling Thunder series. These 2 battle a lot. These 2 know how each other drives. Jones gives Eberhard a nice little bump there. And, if you can hook these cars, you can draft with these cars really well. You just got to stay out of the rear end of the other car. Kind of like the Gen 4s. You don't want to bump, but you do want to be as close as you can, break that wind. And you can see they're pulling away from the pack here just because they're just locked up very, very nicely.
Yeah, this is some early 2010 tandem racing going on between these top 2 right now. This is the biggest breakaway we've seen anyone get from the main pack. So is this going to be how our last 30 laps, or 23 laps rather, pan out here, where we start to see cars work together as pairs? You kind of see that happening with 3rd and 4th, Seth Reed and Colin Weatherholt.
Yeah, I think that's kind of been the premise here for the first 2 stages is, Eberhardt and Jones weren't really together in the first 2 stages, but you can see them now. They've linked each other up and they're walking away from the field here actually quite quickly as we're on board here with Jared Haynes, trying to catch these guys and move himself up. Not a big draft on these cars. You got to be really, really close to really break the wind. But if he can get up there and get underneath Ryan Nichols there, they will be able to move forward as well.
So with the field being spread out, there is more of a probability now that we could go green to the end of this stage. What does that mean? Well, I think it means 3 cars will definitely get eliminated. Joshua Suss, Michael Larch and Ryan Johnson, who are off the pace with damage. But there are still 12 cars really in contention for this, and that means 2 of them are going out. And right now, William Schwindenhammer and Sean Corcoran on the outside looking in.
Yeah, and these are the guys that are, these are the guys that want to move forward. You want to get into that top 10 for the final stage here. So, William Schwindenhammer just moved into 10th place, Bo Tiffany in 11th, Sean Corcoran in 12th. But don't count out Joshua Suss or Michael Larch. If they can get up there and this runs green, they may be able to move themselves forward. And right now, as we ride on board with William, right on the bubble there. But he's got Bo Tiffany staring him down, saying, no, I actually want to move forward. So we'll see how this battle goes here.
Yeah, the determining factor over whether there's another yellow or not is a pack for 3rd place. Colin Weatherholt, Seth Reed, Dean Gagliano, Randall Nichols, James Shanewolf and Matthew Molnar in that. And that's our biggest pack of 6 cars right now. And if the 4 cars behind them catch up, and Shanewolf is the one we need to keep an eye on, because he does keep making aggressive moves in that black and yellow and purple number 25 machine.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? All the power to him. I mean, if you can make an aggressive move but not take anybody out doing it, that's a good race car driver. I mean, he's somebody that's going to make a lot of people angry, but that's a good driver that he can make that aggressive move and not cause anybody else or ruin anybody else's races. And so far, he's gotten away with it. He's been aggressive, given some bumps, maybe set somebody a little wiggly, but hasn't really taken anybody out yet at this point.
Yeah, definitely pushed Randall Nichols to the back a little bit earlier, but that's probably why Randall Nichols is up on the high line and Schwindenhammer is down low.
I was just wondering what happened there, because Schwindenhammer just dropped down to 12th. Jared Haynes moved up into 10th with Bo Tiffany, so I'm wondering if William might have had a little bit of a moment there that dropped him back out of that top 10.
Sorry, I was mispronouncing. I meant Shane Wolf, not Schwindenhammer. But yeah, you bring up Schwindenhammer. He has dropped all the way back to 12th. Something happened in that pack behind this one, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, and they're spread out, and that's bad news for Bo Tiffany and William Schwindenhammer, as you were mentioning.
Yeah, and you know, again, William Schwindenhammer, Joshua Suss, Michael Larch, Ryan Johnson, and Bo Tiffany right now are looking, you know, they're looking from the outside in, and they want to move forward. Joshua, you know, William Schwindenhammer and Joshua Suss there have been kind of together all night. You know, if they can make friends with each other and hook themselves up, maybe they can move themselves forward. We ride back on board here with William Schwindenhammer, with Joshua Suss right behind him. According to, about 5-6 tenths behind him, according to my timing screen. But yeah, definitely he's going to want to move forward, probably praying for somebody to make a mistake right now and bring out that caution.
There's definitely a lot of pack racing going on in this middle pack, but again, it's only 5 or 6 cars now. Earlier it was 20 cars, so less chance for any drama, and these drivers know their cars a little bit better. That being said, they go 3 wide right there, and Shane Wolf, I mispronounced him as Schwindenhammer a moment ago, but once again he's able to use his driving prowess to move himself to the front of his pack and up to 3rd place.
Yeah, it just, you know, moving, you can move that car just a little bit, you know, without taking him out. It just kills the momentum on these cars. Just that little bump, you know, they're just making them have that little wiggle. So I'm just looking at our leaders here. You know, they're almost a second and a half away from the rest of the field. They opened up such a huge gap here right now. I'm wondering if they're going to do this right to the end of the stage, or if maybe they're saying, you know what, we'll get down to 1 to go and the 2 of us will battle it out.
Well, they are coming to 1 to go. The way this has been going, the stage ending caution will happen at the start of lap 85 and the conclusion of lap 84. So that means Jared Haynes has 1 lap to try and race himself back into the top 10. But I think he's just got a bit too much damage. He's going to have to hope for drama ahead, or else Jared Haynes and William Schwindenhammer and Joshua Suss and Michael Larch and Ryan Johnson are going out. And unfortunately, that means all 4 of our cameras, I believe, are about to go out. But here we go. There's a battle for 9th and 10th between Sean Cochran and Bo Tiffany, but both of them will advance at this rate.
Yeah, really, it really will be a shame to, you know, you lose our driver cams, but you know, that means the top 10 drivers don't have cams. Maybe we get 4 or 5 of them that win their cams tonight, and then bring them online, and we have them on broadcast in the Gen 4 series, which is definitely something they're looking for. And I always enjoy when we have onboards for drivers, just to see, you know, again, the different rig setups, how they drive, and what they're dealing with. And you can see the smiles there, you know, even if they're being eliminated, it's like, you know what, I had a lot of fun, good time tonight, guys. Probably stick around, watch the rest of the race, or maybe just take a break and go have a drink.
Yeah, William Schwindenhammer looks a little downcast there, and who can blame him? He was one who certainly had a shot to try and get in the top 10, top left corner, but he finishes just a bit short in 12th place there. So, then there were 10, and their names are Daniel Eberhardt, Dylan Jones, Shane Wolf, Matthew Molnar, Randall Nichols, Colin Weatherholt, Seth Reed, Dean Gagliano, Sean Cochran, and Bo Tiffany. And let's see if any of them come in for tyres and fuel to get, and maybe a little bit of damage repaired to get ready for this final 10-lap stint.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's going to come in and try and get as much repair done as they can. You know, as we watch, watching my timing screen, watching the drivers we've lost. You know, Eberhardt and Jones didn't bother coming into the pits. And like I said, I had a chance to drive this car, and I mean, I did run it a good 40 laps. Tires don't really go away on this car. It's just a wiggly car. Even with fresh tires, but I mean, not huge wiggle. Again, just kind of look at it as a really, really fast go-kart with a body on it. It's a joy to drive. I don't know why more people don't drive it, just for fun and maybe just to get some experience. But yeah, good fun with this car. And I'm having fun watching these guys throw it around here tonight.
Well, here we are at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. in Concord, North Carolina, not too far from where I used to live. And you can see the that ZMAX drag strip at the very back there, where you see the grandstand. That's where, yeah, there's our mouse. That's where ZMAX drag strip would be. And then there's a dirt track at Charlotte. Oh, apparently you can't see the director's mouse, but that's the ZMAX drag strip at the back, and that's the dirt track at Charlotte there in the middle. But then also not too far away from here is the Concord Mills Mall, which apparently is the biggest tourist attraction in North Carolina, and I did not know that a mall counted as a tourist attraction.
Oh, come on! I'm in Canada. We have groundhogs as tourist attractions out here, so it can be anything.
I used to do my Christmas shopping at that mall. It's got, I mean, it's very mall-like as malls go. I think it's got one of the only Disney stores in the state, and Lego stores. That probably gets a lot of kids there.
Well, kids and adults, of course. I mean, everybody always wants to, have a little bit of fun, and we all love to see what's out there and what's in other towns, and definitely. A lot of fun. So we take one last look here at our top 10 tonight are racing for a 4K camera, which they can control zoom and color with the remote. 6th and 7th place finishers will receive a $50 Top Golf gift card, and unfortunately our 8th, 9th, and 10th players will just simply walk home with the bragging rights tonight that they made it into the last stage of the All-Star race.
So, at the start of the last restart, we saw a bit of tandeming going on. Are we going to see the same thing now? Is Weatherholt going to try and work with Eberhardt to break away from the rest of the pack? Is that the secret that they have unlocked to this car?
Well, it was Jones pushing him last time, but he is going to have Colin Weatherholt and Corcoran here with him. So, but they have shown, if you link these two cars up, you can walk away and just kind of battle it out near the end there. So yeah, going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Looks like, so Daniel's got I think that's Daniel there. His car comes off. We're going to go green here. So I will pass it over to you, Sam.
10 laps left to go. The final stage underway, and it's a good jump by Eberhardt, but that might be bad news. It means Weberholt is not able to bump draft him, but Dylan Jones, who was working with him last time, gets down low. And they're 3 wide towards the back. It looks like the back half of our top 10 has had a bad restart. The top 2 have broken away once again.
Yeah, it looked like Colin just couldn't get the car going there. Shane Wolf gave him a really, really big push, but again, it just takes these cars a while. One gear, it's not like they got to go up through the gears. You just push the pedal and wait for the fuel to get into the car and get it to get up to speed. But you can see if he's smart here and he stays right behind Weatherholt, doesn't bump him too hard, they can go up and make a run at Eberhardt and Jones. And I think they may have learned that lesson this time around, saying, okay, look at how those guys are running, and they've locked themselves up here, and you can see them slowly creeping in there on Eberhardt and Jones.
And now they're going to trade positions, so for 3rd and 4th. So this is some car of tomorrow style tandem drafting going on with these cars. At least it was, but now that the 2 packs have reformed, they're all over each other, and Shane Wolf finds himself back up to the front after taking the fastest lap of the race. He may have made a couple of questionable moves earlier, but he's made a lot of impressive moves too. And right now, that means he's battling Eberhardt for the win, something not a whole lot of drivers have been able to do this season.
Well, if I remember correctly, he did show the strength when we did see him in the series until he had an unfortunate incident. But yeah, again, it's okay to be aggressive. Maybe a lot of drivers don't like you for it. As long as you don't wreck anybody, you're going to make a few drivers upset, but not so upset that you take them out of the race. As we see Weatherholt here come up on Shane Wolf, and I think, like I say, I think they've learned the lesson here, but Eberhardt's kind of lost touch with Jones. See if he can get back up there as we ride on board with him. Maybe get back up to Jones there, return the favor, and push Jones to the front. But it looks like he may actually be losing them a little bit here.
Yeah, Eberhardt's been racing with that damage at the front of his car all day, and it hasn't affected him. According to my time in the scoring, he has not been in the pits for 30 laps. I wonder if maybe the tyres do fall off a cliff after a certain point.
No, I can confirm that the tires after 40 laps, you're lucky if you've taken 5% off the tires at this point. I can confirm that. I think he's breathing the throttle maybe with the damage he's got. It's a little bit more than we thought, and he's a little loose. Because the rear, the car will get a little loose, not necessarily due to tires, but if that aero wrap around the car is damaged in any way, it's definitely going to affect you in the corners.
Well, we're entering the closing laps here with Shane Wolf leading ahead of Webberholt and Jones. Our winner will be one of these three, barring another caution. And looking at the way the pack for fourth place is getting all bunched up, that could happen. Those guys in fourth on back should really need to start working together, see if they can run down these three.
Well, I'm actually really going to watch Colin here. He's been fighting all season in the series. He's really been battling hard, and it just hasn't gotten that win yet this season in the Gen 4 series. And I'm sure he'd love to put the win under his belt here in the All-Star race with 3 to go this time across the line. And I'm pretty sure he's not going to want to settle for finishing behind Shane Wolf here.
Yeah, I have to be a little cautious with how many laps to go here, because they've been ending the stages a lap earlier than we've anticipated. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it will end at the completion of lap 95. They complete lap 93 now with Shane Wolf in the lead, and Dylan Jones has given up on trying to make a high line. Well, he did temporarily. It looked like maybe he was going to go single file. Here they go, single file down the back straight. And
yeah, he took that high entry, got a huge run out of the corner there. You can see just how fast he came up on Shane Wolf and Wetherholt there. And he's going to battle here, and I'm not sure he's going to try it. And apparently this is the white flag. Nope. I just heard a report that possibly it was, but I think we do have one more to go.
No, that would make sense. Yep, this is the final lap. This is lap 95. So, white flag, and can Jones or Webberholt do anything about Shane Wolf? And you can tell it's the final lap now by how aggressive they were going down low on the apron. Back in the second pack, they're all over the apron, but nobody's been able to get underneath Shane Wolf. But here goes Jones now. He goes onto they're using the infield, but Shane Wolf feeding to the line.
Wow. Just, just cut that apron as much as he could to try and take that win, but just couldn't get enough on Shane Wolf. Absolutely phenomenal.
Well, we hadn't mentioned that during the broadcast, but there was nothing to stop him from cutting this part of the apron because it's all AstroTurf, and both of them went for it, but Jones just couldn't get alongside him.
Yeah, like if you get on the AstroTurf there, it is actually an off track, and you will get an incident point for it. And didn't see anybody using it, so everybody's got 30 incident points. Say, you know what? If I can win the race by cutting the track, I'll do it. And unfortunately, just not enough for him to take it. I'm gonna wait for some official here because I'm hearing a little bit of chatter on the radio here. We'll have to see. I don't think it's going to change the finishing position, but there was a little bit of chatter on the radio from the admins.
Yeah, they've thrown the caution, but that's to kind of lock timing and scoring down at the checkered flag. And timing and scoring tells us that Shane Wolf won the race ahead of Dylan Jones and Colin Webberholt. Dean Gagliano got fourth ahead of Randall Nichols in fifth. Bo Tafani in sixth. Eberhardt faded to seventh with whatever went wrong with him at the end there. Seth Reed in eighth place. Matthew Molnar and Sean Cochran round out the top 10. And there is a race-winning car not looking too pretty.
Yeah, heavy heart in the wall, good battle right there at the end. And I mean, if it was me, I would be going there, but let's get our winner in here and just see what that final lap was like. Take her over, Sam.
Yeah, James, congrats on the win there. You kind of surprised everyone except for Dylan Jones, it seemed, with that move coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, man, I had a really, I think I had a, I don't want to say an advantage, but I wasn't getting tight and pushing tight like a lot of the other guys were. I had something figured out where I was able to rotate the center and get a good run off and not wash up the track, and I think that's what helped me there.
Now, we mentioned, we saw in the middle of a race, you and Randall Nichols had a little bit of a moment. Was any discussion after that, or was the vibe kind of positive on the field tonight?
He was a little upset with me, honestly, probably. He queued up and said something, but it's just racing, you know. I wasn't even trying to get under him there. He kind of washed up the track, and I just didn't have time to lift. I'm sure when he goes back and watches the replay, he'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, no, he was a little upset, which he had every right to be, but it wasn't malicious or intentional, so I hope you don't hold it against me.
Yeah, I was going to say you were definitely pulling off some creative moves out there today. You did seem to be one of the faster drivers out there. You were up front a whole lot. You were making passes, and as you mentioned, that car was just handling really well. Do you have experience in this car?
No, but I have real life experience. I used to race dirt oval go-karts, and believe it or not, these things drive just like those did. And even the way, like with the way you draft, the way they handle through the corners, and the way you have to time your runs, everything that I had grown up doing with the real life stuff, it just came secondhand, or it came natural to these things. I mean, the way you had to, like I said, the way you had to time runs, you kind of had to, you couldn't really pass somebody on corner entry. You had to do it on corner exit. And I think a lot of guys were mistaking that and trying to get their runs going into the corner. And we were flat footing it, so you weren't lifting. So it was so hard to get a run on entry that you really had to do it on exit, and you had to be aggressive. And I think a lot of guys were weren't ready for how aggressive you had to be to make passes. And I think they were getting a little nervous when somebody was aggressive, but it's just, that's how it was for tonight, and that's how these cars are. It seems like is how you have to be, at least here.
We're watching the replay of when there was kind of two tandems going on at the start of that final stint. Were you all anticipating that kind of, I call it car of tomorrow, Talladega tandeming that was going on out there?
Well, the front two. I'm sorry, I'm new to this league, so I don't know names yet. But the front two kind of did it the stage before that, the stint before that, where they were just tandeming, and they kind of pulled away. So what I did on that restart is I went up high, to kind of get above the 20 and get a really good arc coming out of the corner to get a big run to kind of hook to his bumper and push him down the straight, just to get our momentum going a little bit better than theirs was. So that by the time we caught their draft, we would be there with a full head of steam, and it worked out. It worked out. It was the right move, it seems like.
All right, well, thanks for coming to talk to us, James. Anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I got to thank Bullet Design Co. for the paint scheme. I run it, so if anybody needs a paint scheme, just message Bullet Design Co. on Facebook. Threw this thing together last minute, and I like to think it turned out pretty sharp. Thank you to Justin Rideout for all he does with the Rolling Thunder series here. You guys up here in the booth for broadcasting it. I hope it was as much fun for you guys to watch as it was for me to drive. I was trying to keep it entertaining, make it interesting with some of my moves. So I don't think I made very many friends out there tonight, but I hope I at least made it entertaining for you guys to watch.
It was a pretty car. It was entertaining, and every car looks pretty in victory lane as well. Our time in the scoring, by the way, on screen is showing a mistake that you were 10th, but of course you won the race. The reason it's saying you were 10th was because you crashed right after the finish line, but that's just our time in the scoring. Congrats on the win, James, and we hope you have a great holiday.
Thank you. Y'all too. Merry Christmas to everybody.
And that was James Shane Wolf, our race winner tonight. Just 0.03 of a second behind him. Robert, you have caught up with Dylan Jones.
Hey there, Dylan. Really gave us some excitement there in the end. And just tried that huge cut of the track to see if you could get around and walk us through that exit out of turn 4.
Well, admin said we could use the whole racetrack, so you had the option of doing it down the backstretch, but that felt kind of dirty because he could just stay there, not let you back up, and what are you going to do then? So I chose we're in a Dale Earnhardt down the front stretch, and hope it worked. But there's some big bumps down there, and we just flew back on the track and killed everyone. I'm glad he still won after doing that, honestly.
Well, I mean, you gave everything you had to try and take that win from him tonight. But yeah, we saw you and Eberhardt there. It kind of seems like you guys linked up pretty good there for a while and were pulling away from the pack, but then just kind of fell off it a little bit.
Yeah, I think the second pack had somebody with damage leading it for a little bit there, and you can't really catch up when there's separation. And then I think Daniel burned off his tires and died there at the end. But I thought maybe we had a fuel advantage because I hadn't taken fuel all race, and I was wondering if low fuel in these things, more horsepower, because it was kind of frustrating. You hit like 184, and you could not get this thing to go no faster. That's why the outside lane never could really do anything. There's just a wall on the speed limiter, so you couldn't get no momentum.
Yeah, I noticed that. I got to do some practice in this car to try and, give more information on it tonight. A lot of fun to drive. And I mean, we had some onboard drivers tonight smiling. I heard some chatter on the radio. I mean, sounds like everybody just, not a lot of anger, just a lot of fun tonight. Everybody really enjoyed themselves.
Oh, yeah, I definitely had some fun. I mean, guys that got screwed at the start maybe didn't have much fun, but I think most of us enjoyed ourselves.
Well, you did have to settle for second position tonight, but that does mean you're going to be having a 4K camera coming your way. Does that mean we're going to see you on webcams when we come into the second half of the Rolling Thunder series?
Oh, boy. I mean, maybe you can twist my arm. We'll see. I'm camera shy.
Well, no camera shies when you're in the Rolling Thunder series. But yeah, Dylan, before we let you go tonight, anybody you want to thank?
Just a huge thanks to Rideout and Rolling Thunder. It's an awesome league, and all the drivers out here. We definitely have a lot of fun. I don't think there's a lot of animosity against everyone in here, so that's always fun. And all you guys at GSRC for putting on the broadcast, and especially this crazy one.
Yeah, well, you know what? Enjoy that P2. It's always fun to, be on the podium. Have yourself a great holiday, and we will see you when we come back in the new year for the Gen 4 series.
You will. Thanks, guys. You too, guys.
All right, one driver left to talk to, and that's our third place finisher here tonight, Colin Weatherholt. The first driver that crossed the line, not on the apron of a racetrack. Colin, that looked like a lot of fun today, but third place, you won a camera out of it, but were you hoping for more?
Yeah, I was hoping there'd be a little bit more, and I accidentally took a full tank of fuel on my first pit stop, so I had a bit more fuel than those guys did, and I didn't really have the car to really compete. I don't think it was just drifting a little bit wide in the corners, and those guys seemed to be able to hold their foot down a little bit more than me.
We're watching the replay here of when James Shane Wolf was tandeming you, pushing you back up there. How difficult was it to hold on to that with a car kind of bumping you, given that the back of his car is kind of round?
Yeah, it was more difficult when other guys were pushing me. I thought Shane Wolf did a really, really nice job pushing me. He kept it nice and gentle, but consistent, and it was definitely a skill I didn't have. I couldn't push anybody tonight. I was maybe a little too timid, but I didn't want to ruin somebody's night. But yeah, James did a really, really great job pushing me. So,
is there anything you think you could have done differently in those closing laps?
No, well, they didn't wreck each other enough. I think I was pretty much stuck just with a third place finish unless they really took each other out before the checkered flag. So unfortunately, no, I think I got what I could tonight. If I wouldn't have taken fuel on the first pit stop, I'd have been even better, I think.
Oh, we're heading into the holiday break. Got any plans over the next couple of weeks, and you're looking forward to the second half of a Gen 4 season?
Yeah, just gonna hang out with some family and take a nice little break from some league racing, and wishing everybody a happy holidays, and thanks for tuning in, and big thanks to Justin Rideout. He does a really, really awesome job with this series. Any sponsors you'd like to thank? Yeah, just big thanks to HB Racing, CF12 Media, Black Magic Motorsports. All those guys helped me out a lot, so it's much appreciated. Well, we appreciate you coming to talk to us, Colin. Commiserations that it wasn't a win, but congrats on a nice finish and an awesome camera. Maybe you can live stream yourself now. Yeah, maybe you can see my ugly mug. I'm sure it's better than mine. All right, well, that was Colin Weatherholt, our third place finish. We are halfway through the Rolling Thunder Racing Series Gen 4 season, and we will be back in a few weeks. But this was something definitely different tonight, Robert, and there were a lot of wrecks, but it was quite enjoyable the whole way through.
Yeah, really entertaining to watch these cars going around the track. Like I said, just high-powered go-karts with a body on them, and you heard Shane Wolf kind of say the same thing there. Upgraded go-karts with a body on them. Just so much fun to drive, so entertaining to watch these guys throw it around the track here before the holidays, have themselves some fun before the work really begins in the new year and they come back into the Gen 4 series.
Well, we're going to wrap things up so that Marshall can go home. We would like to thank all of the competitors and the organisers in the Rolling Thunder Racing Series for putting on today's event and giving us a fantastic show. Thanks to the team today, Robert, Ryan and Dougie. Make sure to check out our social media website and merchandise store, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well so you don't miss a moment here on GSRC. The Rolling Thunder Series takes a break for the next few weeks, and we would like to wish everyone a happy holiday season. And there you see, our next race will be round 11 on Sunday, January the 7th at Auto Club Speedway. All of the upcoming races for our other series will be listed on the screen, so check those out, mark them down on your calendar. But until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.